All right, very good morning. I was going to say late evening, but it's actually morning. It's actually morning. I think it's like around 6 a.m. So I'm up all night like usual. My odd hours of Warrior Junior. We'll get to the topic, the narrative, topic of psych in Hollywood in a second. Yeah, I went to the park, workout, whatever it was like 2 in the morning. I usually go a little earlier, but I think it was around 2. And some of these fagolas, they're walking down the sidewalk, and this one black guy sees me, and he goes, "Go to bed." He goes to me, like he tells me, "Go to bed." And I just want to react to that. I said, "Well, dude, I'm gonna put you to sleep," like. But I think I said you first, but I didn't say it like at him. It's very hard not to be reactive when you're just minding your own, doing your thing. Um, People come out there and try to throw you those curveballs. Curve is like this. Your hands over. I pitched, but I couldn't. Kenta Colby, like throwing fucking, who's that fucking guy? Dan Quisenberry? To throw the ball outside from out here. Um, I know a little bit about baseball history, having dealt in cards, the better half of my life and played. So, minor leagues, major dreams, man. Sorry. Um, so that park, where I work out, it's not far from this Craig's restaurant. And I saw this thing on the Yahoo thing. Oh, Jennifer Lopez showed up there on Saturday night. I was in the park, so might have been a couple hundred yards away. You know, it's not that far from. I know exactly. Ironically, my ex-girlfriend, I think she owns like 10% of that place. And this all has to do with the psych of Hollywood that I'm going to talk about. Um, I watched this paparazzi thing they're chasing around. You know, Ben Affleck and J Lo. They're going to pick up kids or whatever, and it reminded me of in the '90s. I used to hang around this paparazzi guy, and we used to chase around Michael Jackson. Um, Michael Jackson. I remember before the case came out with Jordy Chandler in '94, right before that. And it kind of had there was a period after well let me think. Dangerous album came out like '91, Black or White, and then there was there was like a brief kind of he was doing a Dangerous tour. I remember that. And then there was kind of like a brief time, he was kind of out of the limelight for just a little bit. And then that case was like that Jordy Chandler case. I mean, that was like every news thing that was on every night. There was something about this Michael Jackson being charged, this and that, and whatever. And you know, ironically, I remember I just happened to be in Santa Monica and I stopped by the courthouse, and there's this like his L.A. driver, this guy Gary Hearn. I remember he was there. He's like he was with the MJJ Productions, and he kind of helped me to. I wanted autographs really, and of course I kind of wanted to meet him. That was like my dream. So I was really into the autographs, and I have lots of stories where paparazzi, this guy Alfie, I think he lives in Palm Springs now, but Alfie Pettit, he was an autograph. He knew where Michael's private compound was in Century City, and he took me. Like we waited for him and stuff. We didn't see him that time, but he knew like he had all the inside info, and he helped me to get like autographs. I met Michael briefly, like, well, I guess say briefly for autographs. It was like, his window would come down just a little bit to hand in stuff. And, he was either in a van, Mercedes, like tinted out, with curtains. So it's like, you see his hand come out, grab what you put in. And then one time he was in this back of this GMC Jimmy. I remember, like, he got an award at the Hollywood Wax Museum. And when he hops in this thing and he's gone, and we're all chasing him, but meanwhile, then I'm walking home, and there's the van parked outside the record collector on Highland. I almost shit my pants. I had all these photos, and I could have just walked right in there. I didn't. It's one of the biggest regrets I ever made. I was waiting. I was trying to buddy up with this crew that was there, get him something to drink, these people. But then when I came back, he was in the car. He was signing, though. And I handed in all these photos, and I wound up getting three or four of them back that were signed. So, I got that one time. The Super Bowl press conference, that's a whole in of its story. That's the first time I met him. I still have the picture that I had him sign. Here, I'll show it. Hold on. Why not, right? Might as well. Let's get this in here for a second. Well, this is the first time I met Michael Jackson. I had him sign this picture. It's a nice picture. I don't know if you can see the autograph. It's like right over. You see it? It's over his name. But I got this picture when I was working in photography. So dope, huh? His whole family, his dad putting his hand over him. It's pretty neat. So I got this, and like, all right, well, hold on, we'll continue the story in a second. Bear with me. I like to keep things neat and tidy at the Warrior Junior compound. Compound W, something they used for like warts or something. I don't know. I don't care. All right. Sorry about that, Felt like I just had a little share, you guys, to share the nostalgia of the, so I'm not just bullshitting, I like to show sometimes. It's an old box frame, I can get it nicely framed, but, it's the last thing that I have that he signed. First time I met him, and it was very brief. I remember. All right, I'll share the story real quick. So, what happened was there was a Super Bowl press conference at the Century Plaza Hotel back in 94? I think 93. He did the halftime show. I don't know how I was like 19 years old, and I was very creative and very goal-oriented, driven. Somehow, I managed to contact the person that was running the press credentials for that event of this press conference. I thought I was trying to get like a press pass for the Super Bowl. Well, the guy goes, he's going to be here, and like this over the phone. I go, and he goes, and I go, well, I'm so Michael Reitzenstein representing People's Choice News. It's a bullshit, right? So the guy gave me a credential. He gave me a pass. So I was there. I was like the only fan in the Century Plaza Ballroom. Like all these people, the cameras, Channel 7. I was the only fan really that the guy. See this guy come out and talk with all these kids he came out with. I was like blown away. I mean, I had this little disc camera jumping up and down. He like pointed at me. It was like amazing. It was like a. And then so he hops. When he first arrived, I went around the back. He came in this Mercedes 560 SEL. I remember it wasn't SEL, it was SEL. The maroon red with gold trim. I remember I took pictures of it. I'm jumping up and down. I knew it was him. I knew the driver. Gary was driving him. And then the window didn't come down, like I should have like approached with a picture at that time, but I was so excited that was him. And I think he stayed in that car. Like he stayed till he came in through the back. Bill Bray was like one of the security guys ever since he was with the Jackson 5. So, anyway, look, in the end, I'll never forget this. He finishes and he's gone, right? He goes, and I ran through the fucking kitchen area. And I see him like he just hops in his fucking car, and the car bolts down through the alley towards Century Park West or whatever, the street. I'm running right with this picture, and I held it up like this, and he stopped. The car fucking stops. I catch up. His window comes down about this much, and I hand in the picture. I'm trying to talk with this guy like this. He hung out with my friend Harry one time singing animation art. Not a word from him. He signed the fucking thing and he gives it back to me with a pen. And all the next thing I know, all these people are around for pictures and autographs, and police are like, go, go, go. He signed a couple for some people, but he was gone. That was the first time I met him. That's that piece that you saw, that big piece. That's the first time. I had him sign about, over my lifetime, he signed a baseball, he signed a Dangerous album, he signed that incredible picture of him as a rabbit, the one that I have, a couple more publicity photos. I would say close to 10 pieces I had him sign, including at one point I had his original lyrics from the Speed Demon album, off the Bad album, the song Speed Demon. Pull over, boy, and get your ticket right. I got that at an auction. Like, so they didn't know what they had. They thought it was just some Michael lyrics for a car. They thought, a couple $100 is nothing. It was the original lyrics that he wrote that song Speed Demon for. Now, it wasn't a hit really, but it was on the Moonwalker, VHS movie. He dresses up like a rabbit and everything. And I went to a convention one time. I wanted to buy this original drawing of him as a rabbit. I met him. He couldn't believe the drawing when he saw it. Like, I know. He was behind he opened up the curtain to look at me, like he signed it like it was a contract. I had that piece too. I sold it all. Listen, I sold and lost everything because of gambling, okay? But I still got that piece. I actually lost that piece too. I sold it to a guy, like when I was, this one guy, he's a very successful photo collector. It's the only reason he bought it. But I told him how much that piece meant to me, and he goes, "Well, what did he sell to me for? $300?" And I gave him like $350 back. He gave it to me back. It's never left my place since. It's not that it's just signed by Michael Jackson. It's the point that dreams do come true. Like, I wanted to, meet that guy. That was like that, my ultimate thing to get to meet that guy. I never got to sit down and talk with him. I never got that photo with him and I. But running after that car, that emotion that I had, like, and it wasn't just running after it, the perseverance, like, to get the credential of everything, like what I had gone through. I mean, I was only 19, but it was like, I think I might have been 20. It was 19 or 20. I got to check the dates because it was 93 Super Bowl. I have the ticket, actually, the press credentials, whatever, 18, 19, whatever. But it was like, it's one of those things that, like, I will never fucking forget. Like, you're talking about the most famous person in the world, okay? The most famous entertainer in the fucking world at the time. It doesn't matter. Even though he wasn't, it doesn't matter. It's like fucking Michael Jackson is, like, renowned over the world. This is before the case broke in '94, So I'm just, trying to get out of, trying to explain, I guess, whatever it is you're trying to be or do or something. As dumb as it might seem, like that was like my ultimate dream, is to get an autograph from this guy. Think about how difficult that is. Wherever somebody goes, he's protected by security and everything. It's not that simple. Like being absolutely in the perfect place at the right time. But it's not just luck of being. I made that happen. And I made it happen because I networked with, it wasn't, and I didn't know paparazzi back then, but I was very goal driven when I was young to make what I would consider miracles for me happen. I basically, he's the reason I started dancing. I got into dancing shortly after that, like just to learn like his style and then I expanded to learning who taught him the boogaloo styles and everything, funk styles. I learned it all. Passionate about it. But he's the reason, And then, around like 2000, I remember like the History album came out. And then I just slowly kind of, I didn't think there was a need to chase that guy. Like, I didn't see a purpose anymore. Like, I think I kind of got what I wanted. I got those autographs, whatever. I didn't care. Like, it was like, But it was a timing thing in that early 90s, that Dangerous album in 1990. I mean, it was pretty fucking tight. It really, really was. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. co-produced that one. I think they worked on that too. No, they worked with Janet, but it's a fucking that Dangerous album. There's some songs he did that came after the Blood on the Dance Floor. It was not well received. I thought it was cool. So This Is It, that song, it's too slow. It called it This Is It's not upbeat. It's not like Thriller. It's not like, even though I didn't care for that song Bad, I didn't really like Beat It, but it's high tempo. It's the dance sequences and everything. The Smooth Criminal, even though the song is like, but the video, the Vince Patterson choreography, who I, was in communication with through email, that's fucking badass. That was like my favorite. The Smooth Criminal thing with that lean, gangster lean. I mean, that's a fuck, dude. And then, even his 70s Off the Wall, so Want to Be Starting Something. His fucking body of work is just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I mean, it's honestly timeless. It is. It's decades, And Dangerous was pretty good too. That title song was not well received, but it was dangerous. That girl is so dangerous. I mean, it was like fucking. There's some jam, even though I didn't care for that, but still, like there's so much, and even some of the songs that weren't Why You Want to Trip on Me, the Remember the Time. I really didn't, but it's just all of it. Just pick if there's a couple songs that you like on an album, then it's still a winner in my mind. In the Closet, I didn't really care for that either, but I remember the video. Romantic, Romantic. He directed Romantic. I forget. I got lots of Michael stories for you, but I was never like, I never got to like get that talk to him kind of thing. Never got that. Remember that fucking guy, his head of security, this fucking guy looked like Captain Hook, and he was like Creole. Wayne Najin, yeah. He's a real dick, like Michael was at the record plant, I remember. And I hustled my way down there because my friend that was a paparazzi guy tipped me off. So I got down there quick and had those lyrics with me. And I showed it to Wayne. He grabbed it out of my hand. He goes, "Where did you get this?" And I said, "I got it at auction. I got it." And he got on his phone like to call Michael or something. He gave him back to me and he said, "You know where he is, like at the hotel. He's working now. Don't bother him." So I went to he was staying at the Four Seasons at the time. He never showed up. He left me hanging. I never got those lyrics signed. But I did sell them. I sold them along with this other original drawing of him as a rabbit from the matching song. Incredible piece collection of both of them together. This guy gave me $500 for both of them. This guy Dave over at Star World, he wound up selling the drawing. I think he's got the lyrics somewhere, but it's history. I tried reaching out to him, try to get him back, but don't fucking matter, I mean, what happened was Michael's stuff, because he signed a lot, and but still, his collectible market for him was like, yeah, but then that case broke, and his shit just sank to is it child molestation? I mean, I was like the kiss of death for that guy. And then, so that was the first case. Then there was a second fucking case. I mean, Jesus, I gotta be honest with you. I think that's the reason that he had to have a family because, it's fucked up to say this, but it's a reality. I mean, I just don't want to get into talking about it, even though I feel like I have. But if you got a problem, you got to get help. I don't care if it's drinking. I don't care if it's doing anything, gambling. You got a problem, you got to reach out for help. And I think that's what it was. I really think he had this infatuation with the kids, and it's like a sickness. It's not accepted, it probably did not mean any harm or anything by it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like a sickness is a sickness, like I just said, and it needs to be dealt with. And I think that whoever he put confided in and trusted in with those lawyers and said, look, man, why don't you have a family? That way, you raise kids ever since they're a kid, and maybe this type of sexual fetish will, be able to dissipate or control it, because it's like what you're doing, is what he did, and he repeated basically the same thing. And I think like after twice, he got lucky to get off. The comedy never ends. But if it would have been a third time, he would have gone down. He would have spent the rest of his life in jail. So probably that was the thing. They said, "Well, go ahead and have a family. That's probably your best mode of action." That's what he did. He went ahead and he raised those kids and blanket and everything like that. Kept himself around kids, but as a father. And I think that was the answer. But I also think what happened was it was driving him nuts. Is really what I think it was, because he's so used to doing, you know what I mean, like with Jordy Chandler and Brett Barnes and whatever, and now he's not doing that. Like, so I think, it basically that was his demise. Like, he was going to go back to doing that, and he thought like, hey, let me just check out, if you know what I mean, before, and that's what he did at 50, like, and it's easier said than done to get help. But again, Michael Jackson is not he was, I know there's a doctor confidentiality thing that, but still, anyway, I'm going to say this, wrapping what I have to say about him up. I respect the artist and the dancer that he did. But Wade Robson, that movie Leaving Neverland, go ahead and documentary, go ahead and watch it if you've never seen it. It's very accurate, and I think that it's nice that the truth is out there. Like, it's really, and the fans, say, look, and I was a fan. I'm a fan, and but that does not negate the facts of these guys like coming out, or they just want money and everything like that. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but I can tell you when somebody's lying. That one guy, that other guy that he was with, not just Wade, the other fucking dude, the guy's got no reason to lie about nothing. And there's a lot more of those boys out there too that are growing up that probably don't want the spotlight, the limelight, and everything like that. It takes big cojones like Wade Robson and that other kid to go up there and really say, hey, dude, this guy, that's what happened. And I believe them. Well, Michael's not here to defend himself. Hey, you know what? There's just too much against you, dude. That with those cases, and he should have sought out to get help. That's all I'm gonna fucking say, and let it go at that point. Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little bit more about Hollywood and the psych delusion. So as I mentioned, I watch these paparazzi. I don't know why. I was curious. J-Lo and the Ben Affleck thing, and I told you I wrote a dance movie, and J-Lo, she did that World of Dance and everything, whatever. Dance, very knowledgeable and stuff like that, and I just felt like she would be the perfect person to hear what I wrote, or at least point me in the right direction or something. And I try to reach out to her management. You're not just going to go right up to somebody like that and get a pitch meeting. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So I tried all these things and nothing worked. I tried reaching out to a lot of, a production company, and not just her, but lots of other people. Nobody would nobody would respond. Beautiful, inspirational dance movie. And I sit there and say to myself, wow, like if I was at Craig's at that Saturday night, and there was a way that I could have talked to somebody as an intermediary to tell her, I wrote this beautiful dance movie, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter. Okay? And that's what I want to really kind of get my point across in this episode. You might live in the middle of everything. Like I told you, that park I'm working out was a couple hundred yards away, whatever. It doesn't matter. But that song, that by Linkin Park, I tried so hard, I went so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I say I tried so hard, but in the end, it didn't even matter. Like, that's my version of it. So, you got to understand, like, it's just what you think and what you want. This is all not practical. And when I say like the psych of Hollywood, let's talk. The J-Lo thing. Look at her, like a 52-year-old woman that looks like that, right? You show me any other. It's like a handful of women at 52 years old that look like that. Why? Well, let's take a woman that's worth $100 million or more. Okay, that could get best trainers, work out, whatever. Her bankability is her look, right? Now, I think let's move more to the psychology of this. They show you this woman, and you're like, wow, thinking that, man, like I could get a woman like the 52-year-old, like get a woman like this. Let me tell you, I used to go to dances. I told you I was 50 plus something. There ain't no women looking 52 looking like that, okay? Because none of those women have $100 million, okay? There's a big difference. And it's not that. It's just a pretty woman. Let me do it right here. It's not just a pretty woman. That it's Jennifer Lopez. There's a lot of pretty women out there. It's that she's 100 million. That's what it is. That's why the paparazzi follow her. Hopefully. Okay. So think about this. I want you to think about this. It's not just this like, oh, like a beautiful Latina woman, 52 years old, that she's worth 100 million. That's the reason of all the attention. For that example, there's other women that are kind of homely looking that are worth that. I know what a woman that owns half the Walmart. It doesn't matter. It's not that she's pretty. It's not that she's a good actress. It's partially the bankability and popularity. It's the money. That's what makes her attractive. Okay? And I want you to be able to try to understand that. Understand that. And the delusion of what they try to sell, the Hollywood nonsense of thinking that that's what a woman at 52 is average is going to look like. Never met her, but I will, I can read. I have a very good sense of reading people's character, of who they are. And I don't expect, okay, well, you try to reach out to somebody with your script and your ideas and they don't respond, so they're assholes. I didn't say that. But I look at her and I see somebody that has bounced around from guy to guy fairly recently. So the A-Rod and it looked like they're close and doing these things. And the second that doesn't work out, it was like a day or two later, she's right back with Ben Affleck. So that's a rebound, right? That's called a rebound. Now, I sit there and I say to myself, what is this nonsense? Like, where's your commitment to building a relationship with somebody? What, over an argument or something, and then you just let it go? I just don't understand. I don't get it. Like, I think, like I said, these people that are these celebrities are given, they're so lucky because not, I know they didn't make their own luck. You know, it's for preparation meets opportunity. They built careers, work ethic. I'm not taking anything away from either of them. Worked really hard to build up this thing. But here's the thing: these people, they made it off of everybody gave them a little bit. You know, like they paid to go see their movies. They financed the reason that the studios or whatever, you know, pay these people millions of dollars to star in movies. I mean, they don't get for nothing. Now, so they're entertainers, but to me, they're not entertaining. I mean, that's how I see it. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not impressed by it. It's like those Kardashians. I mean, they're famous for being famous. It's fools that made them like that. Now, the mom is smart. You know, like the bankroll, the daughter created a makeup line, and all these little girls, these Persian girls or whatever, they all buy the makeup thinking that, oh, I want to look beautiful when I go out or whatever. So, it's a ruse. It's a hoax, is what it is, and all the money is channeled to the top. So, the owner gets everything. And I know that's what JLo is trying to follow suit with that. She already got money anyway, so it's like she's trying to emulate that Kendall Jenner, whatever the thing is. Now, the thing is, I live around all of this nonsense, and it doesn't matter because no opportunity has rubbed off on me. Um, it's just really ironic. I walk by, there's a big sign for her, her cosmetic line. I walk by, and then I told you, like, these restaurants and Melrose Place, whatever. It's all nonsense. I mean, it's like they call it the glitz, but there is none. It's the frills, whatever. It's not like Vegas, like where, and I know I can imagine, like, there's a version of me that probably lives there walking around and saying the same thing, like, this is all nothing. It's all nothing. I'm sick of it. And I'm saying the same thing, but, there's nothing you can do about it. Like, where am I going to go out to Portales, New Mexico, and go live out there? There's nothing there, so I live where I live. I am who I am. And I try to make the best of it to try to better my life, it's just weird, like, watching and seeing these people, like, when I walk around and they're all warped in my mind. They're warped. I mean, they're all like investing in how they look, but that's all a smoke screen, like, if you're a piece of crap, that's what I see. And so many people invest in, like, I have a bald spot in the back. Oh God. But, can you imagine, like, some of these gays, these young guys, if they were bald, I can't, oh my God, what I would look like to everybody else, they're so weak-minded that they're so worried about everybody else, and they're nothing anyway. They're not. At least I danced on television, like, I'm not famous or anything like that, so it doesn't matter. But, I just see the warpedness of it all. Like, I'm not entertained, and I feel the people that should be making money in life are the people that deserve it more. People that are better, outstanding members of the community, teachers and stuff like that. I mean, entertainers, these couple people. I mean, I tried reaching out to Stallone, with my script. No, not one fucking thing. And those people, Winkler and Chardoff, tried reaching out to them too. Those fucking assholes. Nobody would even give me one pitch meeting. Nobody. No one. And I'm not asking, like, hoping that somebody helps me or something. It's just, God, it would have been like a lifelong thing if somebody just were to hurt you out. You know how long it takes to write a 120-page script? Beautiful story, like and nobody would even give you a pitch meeting for 5 minutes to hear you? There's all these people, they all want it. I don't know about all these people. I know me. I danced for free for 30 years. You dance for free for 30 years. And, so it's like, that's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem. Like, there is no, again, like that song goes, in the end, it doesn't even matter, okay? I think about that wrestling chick, the one. Doesn't even matter. Like, I know she got that email, I guarantee you. And the reason I haven't got a response is that she doesn't want to hurt my feelings. I know. That's the only reason why. She has somebody, or she doesn't. It's not me. It's always the same fucking thing. Can you imagine the frustration, like being looked at by all these gay guys and being ignored by women? Now, I know it's vague. That's a vague statement, but it's like what I just said, being looked at by these gay guys. I go and I work out in the gays in the gym or whatever, and then women ignore it, and then when I try to talk to women, getting brushed off. That's the real frustration. I don't expect women to look at me like they do. Very rarely I've seen it happen. And they're with other guys, and then I get like defensive, like because I know you're supposed to befriend the other guys. A lot of this shit is easier said than done because I'm from a combative after going to bars for over 20 years and getting into it with all these guys, arguing with them. It takes to change. I mean, I feel like if I let my guard down, they're gonna one up me. They're gonna take advantage of me, and so that's why I keep like my shields up. That's why when I go to the park and I work out, I carry my fucking mace on me, and I keep those sunglasses on most of the time because if someone tries to one up me or approach me, I'm armed. I'm ready. Like with a fucking mace thing, What a awful way to go through life. Like you're attracted to beautiful women. Like I'm a normal guy, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you. I don't know about other guys. I know about me. I knew this guy Dave Pearl. We talked. He had the same frustration as I did. And here's why the frustration herein lies. I live in a very borderline affluent area adjacent to Beverly Hills, where, for the most part, if a woman is in a relationship, then that's done there. And if a woman is not, then she's got given her love to her pets. You see this all the time. Women walking their dogs around, and that's where their mindset, it's like very linear. That's how they think. So once they got their needs met through all those things, you are not needed. And that's the problem with the society that I've noticed, that all the women around here, like they're all about the same as far as like, they already got whatever they got what they need, and you are not necessary. It's like what Pearl told me at the wrestling school. We got writers, he just said in a nice way, we don't need you for anything. That's it. That's the end result. It's the end result. In the end, it doesn't even matter. I tried so hard. In the end, it doesn't even matter. Now, I know it makes it sound like everything you tried in your life, it all counts for nothing. You write a script, you wish you could meet somebody, everything, you didn't make nothing. What's the point? I will tell you this, though. Like, I'm going for my doctorate, right? And at least it feels like I'm going after something that I believe I can achieve, I can see the finish line. It's far down the road, but I see it, and it's something doing the work. And the problem herein lies, everything else I mentioned is not in my control. I can't make somebody like, a producer or whatever, like give me the time of day. I can't, try to reach out to these celebrities that won't respond. It's beyond my control. But I can go, do my workouts on my own. That I control. Working on my degree, that I control. Paying back what I owe to build my credit, that I can control. And I know it's very, very difficult because society, they show you out there. And then when you're walking around, you see these beautiful women with you, and you're like, it's like eye candy. You're not going to get it though. Now, I don't know about other guys. Again, I'm just talking about me, my own experiences throughout my almost half century of being around, But that's that, like that. Listen, I already shared my uncle, my dad's brother, what he went through. I cannot believe this. That my aunt, she's such a fucking princess. She was married. She's like my age. She was younger. Married to my uncle. This was like almost 20 years ago. They got a kid together. My cousin. She's like, I don't know. She's probably 15 now. And my aunt did. She leaves him for a family friend. My uncle's very, very smart, and they had like friends of the family. They were worth like 100 million. That's a lot, Maybe I'm exaggerating, but let's say 20 million. It's up there. It's definitely up there. And what happened was he got divorced, and the second he got divorced, my uncle goes, "I knew I was in trouble." That's how smart my uncle is. You think the marriage of bond, the bond of marriage, like because between my aunt Debbie and my uncle Leon, is like this. They got a fucking kid together. No, she skidooed and went for that guy that's worth 50 million or whatever like that. Now they live in Alpine in New Jersey. I don't know the New York mentality. I don't know what the fuck. That shit doesn't fly, but I don't understand that. That's bullshit, okay? And because I know like money is important, but it's not everything. Now, and I already talked about my ex-girlfriend. Like I made it very clear after a little while. We're going together and everything. And I made it, because I don't want to do shit like that, like what my aunt did. I would never do something like that because that's just cold and calculating. So what I did was, like I basically, I put up my demands, like, like kind of up front after a while. And I said, there's a couple things that I want. And because, she's fairly wealthy, I told you, she owns 10% of Craig's and all these restaurants and everything like that. I basically told her, like, I said, look, you got to understand something. I'm willing to be with you, but I got to make sure my financial thing is just taken care of. Let's get that out of the fucking way so we can focus on our relationship. And she didn't really get that. She's a miser. The woman's like 50 years old. No kids. She's got plenty of money. What are you saving the fucking money? What do you got money? Like, let's enjoy the life. We have enough. The whole idea, see, this is the warpedness of our society, of Hollywood and everything, of everything. These people, go out there, look at traffic, go out there and see all these people slaving away or getting up into they're spending their whole lives to make money, right? And they never make enough. You never fucking make enough. And this is the problem where herein lies that somebody like my ex-girlfriend would recycle tea bags. I mean, that's a sickness, okay? If you're worth $5-10 million and you're recycling tea bags, you know you're dealing with somebody that's fucked up in the head. That's a red flag right there. And she would use the excuse. I know I talked about this, but I'm just going to reinforce what I'm saying. Take off my jacket because I'm getting hot. When I talk about this, I get agitated, but it's controlled agitation, and it's for the good purpose to educate you about people like this. Okay, hold on a second. All right, so again, this is like a 50-year-old woman already, and no kids or nothing. And she told me, well, the guy I was with, whatever, he really took me to the cleaners or whatever. Don't matter, don't matter. She had money. She made like a lot of money from her acting and snowballing real estate. She's got millions. Okay, I know there's a big difference between millions, 3 million, 5 million, 7 million, 10 million. I know, but just hear me out, okay? So now again, you know my situation, like basically indigent I am, how I don't have, and so I brought that out after like 4 or 5 months. I said I got to get this out now so I can get it out of the way, and that's the problem in our society. Like, no, what they do is they try to sweep that under the rug, the truth of what a woman wants, what a guy wants, and then look what happened to my uncle. If she would have been like more straightforward about that, what she wanted, then more than likely something like that wouldn't have developed. Because you're putting everything out in the open. That's the way it's supposed to be, you know. Now, I'm not like that with every woman. Everything is different. The woman that I really like, that I really wish I could know, this wrestler, I know she doesn't have enough. I can tell, and I like her just for her. There's a difference. But let's talk about my ex now. Let me, because I don't want to negate. You already heard about that. I want to talk about what happened in the past and how it relates to you learning so you don't make the same mistakes I did. It's not really mistakes, it's about being honest. And in Hollywood, being honest is a lie. All these people are fucking lies. They cover it up with their hair, their makeup, and their looks. They think they're selling. I'm not buying. You don't see a woman like that going out like J Lo. Why was she there? They're selling. It's like, no, I'm not buying. I'm not buying it. It's a farce. Now, my ex. So anyway, so I asked her, and I don't give a fuck what you think, because I'm just gonna be honest with you. I asked her for this Rolex that I wanted. Some guys like rings when they get married, right? I like this Datejust too, this $10,000 Rolex, right? Probably cost like closer to 12, 13,000 because it was an in-demand one, the Wimbledon dial. It's nice, 12 grand. Okay, that's it. So I asked for that watch, and it was like, and then I asked for it to go to Disneyland, to go to Tony Roma's across the street, and then I was like, okay, well, you know, we live like in this area, but my friend, he owns like a fleet. He owns like all these penthouses, condos, penthouses, all next to each other. We could live together. We could probably get him to sell us one of them. And it was like just, you know, or we could go. Let's buy a house in Malibu. You own all these. She has all these houses. I told you, she's got millions. She has two houses, like on one in Alfred and Croft or something. Like I forgot. Like she rents them out for like 10 grand a month or something. I said, why do you sell? You don't. What do you need to hassle everything? Why don't you just sell? You get like we could go live in Malibu on a beach house. I mean, this is the warped. This is the fucking. I didn't ask. I mean, I definitely though. If you like, and I did say I want half. I want half, just in case, because if she doesn't want me and lets me go, I get half. Yes, correct. I get half of the property, not of all your assets, but of half of the living thing. I got to know I'm taken care of for the rest of my life. That's it. That's all I asked for. A little upfront, just to, to inspire me and everything like that. To go to Disneyland, to go to Tony Roma's, what was like a couple $100 right there? And then we buy property, and we both live in it, and you sign over half. That's it. That's all. That's all. Now, if a woman, let's say she owned those two, she has a place in Texas, I remember, but she had two places here. Let's say they're worth about $3 million each. From what she described, there's six. I don't know what else she has, and I don't care. I'm just looking out for my own best interest as a spare tire. God forbid, like a woman goes, "Well, I don't like you anymore. I'm getting rid of you." Well, yeah, that's fine, but then you got to sell the big property we both live in, and I get half. Fair, fair. That's the way it's supposed to work. It's not. I'm not gold digging. I'm not gold digging because I'm not looking for. Let's say I don't care if she's worth 50 million. I didn't ask for half of that. I asked for half of what I'm living in. That's it. And she just would not fly with it, with any of that. She never countered offered anything. And I even tried, like after like 3 or 4 months, to try to get her to go into platinum futures based on the charts, and we would have made a fortune if she would have just put up some fucking money. And she said she would. She didn't. So she lied to me off the bat. After a year, I basically let her go. I let her go. And I know you're probably, well, you're gold digging that. No, no, no. I'm looking out for my time, my interest, and my own security. That's the most important thing first. You got to look out for yourself and get all that crap out of the way that you want or whatever, so you can focus on building a love and a life with somebody. But that's it's like insurance. It's like you got to have it just in case. And my mom is a prime example of somebody that don't think like that. Moves in, marries some guy that has a house up in whatever, northern central California, and he dies, and my mom gets nothing. The kids come and take it. That's my mom. She's a fucking idiot. You know? So I don't relate with her. I don't, we call that in Jewish nishka kliga, not a smart. Now, that scenario that I talked about does not apply every time. It's specific to that scenario with that woman. It's specific to it. And I guarantee you, that's why the divorce rate in Southern California is 66%. Is because people are getting married for the wrong reasons. They don't bring everything out that's in their mind out in the open, what their true intentions are. Can you imagine? It's a woman, 2 fucking houses, letting other people live in, and she lived, my ex-girlfriend lived in a small little, she called it the glass slipper, tiny little apartment. A cheapskate, a miser. It's not the fucking way to live if you got money. And she would go, her excuse was, well, that's the reason I have money. I said, no. And it's not true. The reason she had money is because she snowballed it properly. She bought a condo for $150, sold it for $350. Bought a house for $350, sold it for $6. Bought a house for $6, sold it for $1.2. That's how she made her money. Not by recycling tea bags, okay? You don't want to be with somebody like that, okay? Now, she would say some beautiful things sometimes, but she didn't follow through. She didn't follow through. Smart chick, too. Architect, actress, yeah, But let's talk about brute looks now. She's an egomaniac, because she won some Miss Teen Texas back in like 1988 or something, 86. You're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. And then she came out to LA and found out that she's nothing special. Very arrogant. thinks that she's was like this. Not to me though. Not to me. She's very pale. She's on some very hard type of thyroid medication. Like a really, And I said, "Why are you on this?" He said, "Well, it's prescribed. Athletes have to take." Like, what happens if you don't take this? He goes, "Oh, I blow up to 300 pounds." I can blow up to 300 pounds if you're exercising. What are you talking about? She's naturally thin, and she's just not like what I would consider sexually attractive to me because of that thinness. Like it's like walks. It's not attractive. It's like those bony models. Like they're bony. They're not attractive. And that's what she is or she was. It ain't for me. I gotta be honest. Let's be honest. Why pull punches here? I know a woman that gets my dick hard. That I'm attracted to. Most of these women, they all think they're most of them don't know how to dress. They don't really look like nothing. I'm just sorry. Like I'm not trying to belittle them in this area here, but I'm very like not impressed by a lot. I don't understand how they get, and I don't, the guys that are giving them everything, I don't know how the fuck, what the logic is behind if you're wealthy giving them everything. I don't get it. I really don't. I know that I paid, for some women on a limited basis here and there to get, but that's a little here and there. That's not like, giving them the keys to the vault if you have it, or how they're cashing out with millions. I don't know. I think what it is, they're getting a good boost of graduating college more. They're getting good job opportunities and making like good money, 100,000 a year, whatever. They're smart with their money investing. So I'm not knocking women at all. I'm not. But I just see this odd way of the way things work, like, and it just doesn't make much sense to me. Like, it really doesn't, as far as people connecting authentically, organically. It just doesn't seem to happen because you have what I call all those types of interference in the way. All those types of interference that I talked about, things that what I try to bring out in the open would scare the shit out of them. They go, you want all this? It's not all this. I don't want. What I want is to know that I'm going to be taken care of. God forbid something happens. Asking for half a property only if we don't work out. I'm not here to take from you. I'm here just to protect myself. And they're threatened by that, And once you get that shit out of the way, then it's done. $10,000 for a fucking one little Rolex, 12 grand, is absolutely nothing for somebody that's worth in excess of $10 million or five or whatever. It's nothing. It's nothing, okay? And the problem is society tells you, oh, no, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. You know what? It keeps you from enjoying life. Keeps you from fucking enjoying. How much I've given women, a little bit here, a little bit there, and I've never said, oh, if I could afford it, I do it because I want the experience. Damn it, I want the fucking experience. I'll give you an example. We're talking brute honesty, right? Back when I was 30, and I got this check for like $3 grand, okay, and there was this porn chick, like she wanted $1,000 an hour. And she's in Vegas. I happened to be there. And I called her up and it's like, well, how about, can you do a half an hour for like $500? And she goes, sure. And I finally got to meet her. She showed up. I was at the Circus and the Manor. And I remember I let her in. And it was like, boy, let me tell you something. You see him back then, you see him on VHS. It was before DVDs, VHS. I used to be young once, believe it or not. Anyway, So it's on VHS, and I said, I got to see this chick, and I don't know how I got her number, but I guess when you got money, like not much, I was able to somehow get it. How old was I? 30, 18 years ago or something. So anyway, yeah, I remember I let her in, and in person, boy, there's a big difference between 2 dimensions and seeing in three dimensions. You see, wow, these tits were huge. I remember, I'll never forget it. She don't look like nothing now, but back then she was still coming, on the tail end of her prime. She looked pretty good, and it was like, that's what you pay. That's what I paid for. That's what I donated for. Okay. My point is that she was willing to work with me, and I was willing to see her purpose. That's my point of this. And I know, like, the real love and marriage and relationship is not an escort thing. I realize that, but there's elements of that which, in truth, okay, there's elements of that, of things getting what you want out of something, the understanding that, hey, and it's actually the best thing to do is be honest with somebody. How can you deny that? The honesty thing. You put everything like that's going on in here out there, you see what you're really about. And that woman, the one that my ex-girlfriend, she wouldn't. It took me a year to get that she's not going to give me what I want. So I didn't give her what she wanted. I never fucked her. Holding out for the right one anyway, So this is a little brutal episode. I know I'm a little direct, and I mean I'm always direct, but I'm a little open, sometimes about things that I feel, and I think that's really important. Because if you're not, you're holding back and you're not telling people the truth, guess what? It comes out eventually, some way or another. Why do you think the divorce rate is so high in America, and especially in Southern California? For the reasons that I've explained. You ain't telling the truth, son. You're not telling. Well, divorces are all about money, huh? If it's about money, then get that issue out in the open, so therefore it won't be a problem. That's how you deal with things. Once that's out of the way, guess what? Then you got a real relationship there. Love, like you don't have to think about shit that's trivial and don't fucking matter anymore. There just needs to be a shift in the dynamic of thinking of most people. There needs to be an open-mindedness of reality, and the problem is Hollywood, these people are so focused on how they look to other people that don't even give a fuck about them. Now, I don't care. Gays, I don't know. I don't relate with them. I don't know. Like, my gym, they're so focused on how they look to everybody, but not who they are. Like, so it's weird. It's a warped sense of thinking. Now, I think women have that same thing. I don't know. I'm not a woman. I'm not gay, a guy, so I don't know. That's all I know is me. Like, what you see is what you get. And it's hard because, you can't come out like that strong and say, well, I want half of it. It took time for me to ask for that. But if you're going to spend a considerable amount of your lifetime with somebody, you better damn make sure that everything that's going on in here is out in the open. Or else you're setting yourself up for fucking problems. That's why women don't like to deal with it. That's why they just get an animal. Go get a dog or a cat and they give them your unconditional love. so that you don't have to deal with the reality of what is reality. There's plenty of women, they got plenty of fucking money. And they're saving it all for their hair and makeup. To show off to who? To everybody. Don't care about you. They don't. You might think that way. It's not true though. Go out there trying to, go, oh, you look so beautiful at parties. He goes, he's saying, the same people, you're so beautiful. Fucking cares. It's like that one woman I saw at that piggy bar that I went to, and she walked by me and she goes, no, they don't like you. You mean. And I said, come back here, sweetheart. When she walked by me second time, well, you go just walk by telling somebody, give them a negative put down, and they don't clarify. You don't even know my name. Well, I heard, you heard nothing. But CM Punk said something fantastic. He said, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. Yeah. I want you to think about that statement. I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. It's very strong, That's real, like, that's straight. That's like stepping up to the plate there. And I did that statement. I wish that would have came into my mind when she walked by me the second time. But a fucking, and most people that hang out at bars anyway, they're not worth your time anyway. I know the only reason I was there is because they got music and a garbage DJ. But I just got sick of just going by myself to the park at midnight. Human beings need interaction. You just socialize. It's close, like I did see one woman there that was kind of nice, but she was with these other, I think they're gay guys, and I semi befriended the group. Like I talked with them with a dancing thing, but they didn't say, hey, come hang out with us. They didn't give me that welcome in. It was close. So you know what? I am getting better. I'm getting better at trying to befriend people, because just trying to, you got to understand, dude, I got like a quarter century of combativeness of things, and of people coming up to me that getting approached by gay guys, that doesn't fucking help me, like in my lack of experience trying to meet women my whole life. I mean, it's really fucked. It's really fucking hard. Now, going to see a therapist is not going to help, because the therapist is going to sit there and sit back and listen to your fucking story and there is no advice that they can give you that's going to create a solution to this, because it doesn't exist. Join everything there to go join yoga, go try to join a social group, things I'm not interested in anyway. There's no answer to this. I've tried speed dating. I've tried all the social mixers. You got to understand something. It's the dynamic of society, of living in these times, under these circumstances, in this area of Hollywood, and the way that people are. It doesn't matter. You go to Orange County, it's the same fucking thing. You go to the Valley, same fucking thing. Just about. I've been everywhere. Okay, so everywhere where it's going. I'm not going to go to buttfuck Oklahoma to try to meet somebody. It doesn't work that way. And you shouldn't have to either. Buttfuck Oklahoma. Look, I try to make light of everything. But the reality is the reality. This is 2022, not 1972. It's the way it is now. And, that's that. You have to be you. You have to be yourself and fight and hold your ground. Now, I'm not saying be the same person if it doesn't work. Like, I knew this one guy, passed away, Marvin. God rest his soul, but he was a real curmudgeon. But, I bring him like porn tapes. He was a cool guy. God rest his soul. But he was a very set in his way of the way that he is. That's why he never really got any women or anything. He was just straight, but I told him, hey, why don't you go to these, for this older people? He didn't go. He never went. And because he was so close-minded to everything. You know, developed that curmudgeon type way. And that's not what I'm trying not to come off that way. But I feel that it's important to hold. It's like you need to be yourself, but try to continually be a better version of yourself. That doesn't mean appeasing fucking people, doing everything that they say. I'll give you an example. I was walking to do my exercise tonight to the park. It was around close to 2 in the morning. And you know, I'm going north. I'm almost there, and there's like this homeless, disheveled kind of guy, and I notice he's with a woman. Now the woman, you know, she was kind of at the same level of him. You know, he's borderline disheveled. He wasn't that bad, but it was enough to tell like this guy's like a kind of a homeless kind of, you know, and she was like the same, like, you know, water seeks its own level. So I'm walking, and he asked me, he goes, you know where Cedar Sinai is? Like, and I ignored him completely. I just kept walking. And he goes, hey, man, I'm talking to you. You know where the hospital, Cedar Sinai? And I know exactly where it is. It's about a mile. Like, you can see it, actually, from where he asked me. But I wouldn't answer his question. And he got real offended, you know. Like, well, he didn't really start yelling, but I heard what he goes. He goes, you fucking man, you think you're so something, you know. Like, he wasn't expecting to be ignored, okay? Get used to it. I'm not a public fucking servant, man. I didn't tell him that, but I'm telling, you know, that's what's going on in my mind. I decide if I want to talk to you. I decide. And that's the problem. Is most people, they all think like they can get something, they can get anything off you, your attention and everything that you want. I decide. I'm the captain now. That's taking a ship by the fucking bow and controlling, you know, the wheel. It's easy to do when in those situations I'm really good at handling. Sorry. Exactly. We covered a good amount of stuff tonight, today morning. You know, I just I have to hold my ground. I have to hold my ground, you know, and that's, you know, everybody's not going to like you, you know. Like that girl at the bar, nothing anyway, a little nothing. And that homeless guy, you know, but I hold my ground with things. I'm not there to be liked by everybody wherever I go. I don't care. You know, it's just the way it is. So I keep my guard up wherever I go during the day, at night, whatever, especially at night. But I go where I want, when I want. I want to go to the park and work out at 2 in the morning. Guess what? I'm fucking going. The world's not a prison, my friend. I go where I want to. It's my lifetime. And the friend, he's scared to go out. You know, that's him. He can be a murder dick if he wants. It's not me. You only get one life. Do something with it. Don't fuck. Let society push you into a little corner and down on your knees like most people. Have nothing anyway. Most people work 9 to 5, have nothing. Look at the back of that dollar bill and see that pyramid on there. It's there for a fucking reason. Yeah. got no problem with working. I got a problem being taken advantage of. And being taken advantage of really hard. Modern day slavery. I'm not gonna fucking contribute to that shit. Look, I offered. I applied, like to go to live in this work, like a postist. Like I figured government job, security. Because I looked at the property value. I was like, okay, well, I'm willing to fucking work, whatever. How much the post office working? $16 an hour or whatever like that, but benefits and everything. And I said, well, hey, maybe I can afford my own nice little condo one day for like $100,000. I get financing and I'm willing to work because I'm looking for a place that the money carries. It has value there. You don't gamble. Here it doesn't. Here in Los Angeles, you get fucked. The working man is the indentured servant slave here, is what it is. The property values are too overinflated. People made it that way. People that own the property, that own whatever, or own apartment buildings and stuff, they're fucking rolling. They're kicking ass. They don't act like it, like my ex-girlfriend, like she's fucking, I don't know how many buildings or whatever she owns. People, and I said this to this one guy, you own it or does it own you? Now I want you to think about that. There's this one clown, this one guy, he owns all these apartment buildings. My friend lives in everything, and the guy shows up for work every fucking day, never took a vacation or nothing. Who knows? He owns maybe $20, $30 million in real estate, and the guy counts pennies. Counts fucking pennies, okay? Because he doesn't own the property, it's owned him. Think about that. I want you to think about that. Think about that. Most people, superficial garbage. Like I know I walk when I go to the park, I see all these superficial dumb fucking places. They sell all these things for your house, the decor, it's all garbage. The Pacific Design Center, whatever. Garbage stuff in there don't mean nothing. You know what means something? Who you are as a person, who you are as an individual, not this superficial garbage crap that means nothing. And most of these women, they don't get that. They don't. And you know what I base that on? I base that if you're a good-hearted person, a good quality guy, shine like a fucking spotlight, and it doesn't. They don't see it here. Okay? They don't. They don't. They never tell you, like, when you do things that are great, it never shines. But, that dumb woman that told me that, that's numbers. She saw me do something, whatever, or heard something. That means nothing. You go along and be like everybody else. Remember CM Punk said, I'd rather be hated for who I am than loved for who I'm not. For what I'm not. There's a lot of truth in that statement. Ironically, I'm a great guy. I am. At least I believe I am. But when you're living in a time and a place that most people are just so superficial because they watch these dumb shows, all their energy goes to things that don't fucking matter. So all you can do is change yourself. You can enlighten yourself. Be conscious and stop giving these people that don't deserve anything. Stop giving them your time, your energy, and your money. Okay? They're just not worth it. And most importantly, open up your fucking mind wherever you go. If you're a woman, guys, I don't know. If a woman and you're in the market, Pay attention. If a guy gives you a nice compliment, he's interested in getting to know you, and he doesn't look threatening, like, at least tell him, hey, thanks for trying. Stop crushing guys with you thinking that you're really somebody when you're nothing. Like my ex-girlfriend, she thinks she's somebody. She's a nothing. She's a nothing because she thinks she's. That's why. Give guys hope in this life, you know? There's a saying, you know, like, you know, for a racehorse to run good, a thoroughbred, feed it, you got it, take care of it. It's got to get laid, you know, like it needs the things that a man needs for it to run efficiently. That's what a warrior needs. And a woman should realize that. I'm not saying a woman's place is that, no. But a lot of women don't realize what it takes for a man to really be. They need those things covered so that they can bring out the best of them. And women don't give that. Or they're giving it to the wrong people. That's my 2 cents for now. So hope you came away with something kind of enlightening on this one. A little bit of everything, but I think it's everything that's important. It's so sad, you know.